Hi there, welcome. I am MisterBo, and today we are going to be talking about some brand new leaked images of Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time that surfaced online last night. Now, these came from the website Video, but they were originally kind of found by Koala Kong over on Twitter, and I'm not 100% sure on kind of where these images came from. They do show some environments and stuff we've seen in the reveal trailer, so I wonder if this is taken from some gameplay we're going to be seeing maybe in the next week or two that's just kind of come out a little bit early. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but of course with anything that is leaked, spoilers ahead. If you want to stay completely in the dark about Crash Bandicoot 4, I recommend clicking off this video. With that being said, if you do enjoy this video, then click that like button, and if you aren't already, feel free to subscribe so you get to stay up to date with all my content. Now, the first image we have is the end of level completion screen. Now, we had already seen this in the gameplay footage that was posted by Quavo a couple weeks ago. It showed a glimpse of this screen for that snow level that we saw in the B-roll footage. Now, obviously there's probably a screen before this that shows you how many crates and how many Wumpa fruit you got, and possibly maybe if you got any gems and crystals along the way. But it is nice to see that you can just go straight back and replay the last mission you did. Perhaps you missed something, perhaps you didn't get all the crates. Instead of quitting out of that level and then having to load it back up in order to replay it, you can now just simply do that from the end, which is a nice addition. You can also see we're in some sort of Jurassic Dinosaur level, which we've seen before in the reveal trailer, and we'll see a little bit more as we go through these images. So here is another part of, I assume, that same level or a different level with that same theme. We can see we have this massive dinosaur head, which looks like a platform that probably moved you up to this section, which I think is a fun, neat little addition. We can see Crash has died here, and we get to see one of the death animations where he turns into an angel and flies up. Obviously that is taken from the old games. Looking forward through the level, we get to see a nitro crate, a Wumpa crate. Looks like we have some iron crates down the end as well. And it's a little bit hard to make out, but it looks like we're seeing some Venus flytrap enemies. You can briefly see one behind the green smoke, whether that's an attack that it did to kill Crash or whether Crash maybe hit a nitro crate, and then you can see one a little bit further down. We also get to see our first proper look at the HUD. We have 13 of 681 Wumpa fruit collected. If you aren't aware, Wumpa fruit are now a completion goal for when going through levels. So if you manage to get all of the Wumpa fruit in a level, you'll get an extra gem. We have seen, thanks to the IGN footage, that you'll still be trying to collect all the crates in a mission. That is still there. You just have the other goal of trying to collect as many Wumpa fruit in a level as well now. We then get a shot of something we saw in the trailer, and that is of course the giant T-Rex dinosaur chase. Very reminiscent of some of the levels we saw in the original Crash Bandicoot games, where you're either running away from a boulder, a giant polar bear, or a triceratops. Again, we get to see the HUD here for collecting Wumpa fruit. We can see 275 now out of 681. You can see there's so much going on here in the environment. It's a very lush background. We have the lava spewing up at the front here, and of course we have that giant T-Rex chasing us down with Crash in the front using Aku Aku. We also have a brand new icon on the right. Now this could be one of two things. The obvious answer is this is a life counter, similar to what we saw in the original games. Instead of that 2D icon, we now have more of a 3D icon, and underneath Crash you can see there's a skull with an 18, indicating we probably have 18 lives left. However, I would say we can't really be sure of that. It could also be a death counter. It could indicate how many times you have died in this level. It seems a bit strange for it to have a skull and then a number in red if it was indicating lives. We've never seen it represented like that in previous Crash games, so it does make me wonder if this is indeed a life counter or something else, but it looks pretty cool on the screen anyway. I would prefer it if these sort of HUD elements came and went like in the original and weren't on screen all the time, but I think they look really clean nonetheless. We then start to see some images from the level that we saw in the B-roll footage, that snowy ice level. There isn't really much to take away from this other than Crash is using the time mask Kawunawa. We can see some falling platforms that he's going to have to slow down to try and traverse, and then we see an exclamation crate on the right, which you know if you hit that will enable some crates, which you then again need to slow down time so those crates last long enough for you to get on top of and make your way across. We can see this level has a really big increase in terms of how many Wumpa fruit you need to collect, and that is 975. Yet again, we then have another shot from a similar level, but we can tell it's actually a different level thanks to the Wumpa count here. So we have a total of 581. We get to see that life or death counter again on the right. There isn't really much to tell from the actual level itself. It looks like a pretty standard level, but I think this at least confirms we're going to be getting multiple levels in the same kind of theme and environment. And then we have one more leaked image, and this one's the most interesting because it shows us an image of Cortex's levels. Now it's a pretty simple shot. All we have is Cortex standing there. Obviously, he's just hit a checkpoint crate. We can see a line of Wumpa fruit. We can see a line of Nitro crate at the top, as well as a jumping crate. Now, we don't have any HUD elements here, and I wonder if that's mainly because you're not collecting Wumpa fruit as Cortex. You don't have that goal. You might be then wondering, why is there Wumpa fruit in this level? Now, you'll notice there's a pretty big gap between him and the platform on the left. Now, from this image, we can't really tell which way the level progresses, whether Cortex is going right or whether he's going left. But we do know using his ray gun, you can change objects into platforms to walk along. So I wonder if in sections of the levels, we're going to see lines of Wumpa fruit, which we can then shoot and turn them into crates. That would be a pretty interesting gameplay mechanic, and would make sense for why there's a row of Wumpa fruit just floating in the middle of nowhere here. Now, this doesn't 100% confirm it, but it does hint towards the credence from what we'd previously heard, and that is the Cortex levels will take place in the same Crash levels, but from a different perspective and different angle. So in the Crash level, you might make your way through a certain section of the level, and as we saw in the B-roll footage, maybe a giant ship blows up. What causes that ship to blow up? Well, that would be you playing as Cortex in a different level. And the same could happen for other levels where we're playing as other characters and other villains, where you're trying to basically mess up Crash's route towards the boss fight with that character. And those are all the leaked images we have at this current time. I will leave a link in the description below to the original website who uploaded these. Again, we don't really know what these images are from. This could be hinting at we're going to be seeing a gameplay trailer in the next week or so, and these were kind of uploaded early. These do kind of look like they'd be press screenshots, but at the same time they kind of don't, so I'm not really sure on that. But of course, when we get any more news or information, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. So let me know in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. What do you think of these brand new screenshots? What do you think about the end of level screen where you can replay a mission or continue on? Do you like the look of the Jurassic themed levels? What do you think about the HUD on the screen, and do you think that is indeed a life counter, or perhaps, like I suggested, a death counter? And are you excited to see what the Cortex levels are going to play like when you actually get your hands on the full game? If you did, like at the beginning, enjoy this video, then click that like button to help show your support and get this video out there to more people. If you're not, then subscribe so you get to stay up to date with all my content. Also, feel free to follow me over on Twitter at @IamMisterBo. We're closing in on 1,000 followers over there, just a couple hundred off now. We also have a Discord server you can join, a link to that in the description below, where we talk about Crash Bandicoot as well as a bunch of other games. Apart from all of that though, thank you for hanging out, I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, take care. Bye bye.